All right, Ari, we have a little bit of news to get to regarding, everyone's favorite team to the south of us, the United States national team. As you know, we're up north.
Because we are Canada fans.
The U.S. men's national team, they have released their CONCACAF Nations League shortlist. So this is like a 60 players who they might call up. I don't know. They're like, this is our vibes-based picks. How many will they actually call in? TBD. But I thought it was interesting. There were 3 players on this list, Ari. Jesus Ferreira, Jackson Reagan, and who would you think would be the third person? A man who is almost a villain to U.S. men's national team fans, Ari.
I mean, I know the answer, but go ahead and...
Jordan Morris.
Jordan Morris on the short list. Wow.
Jordan Morris is on the short list for the national team.
That
once
rocks,
again.
honestly. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that because it brings the bots unhappiness, and that's a boon for us. So is the question here, could Jordan Morris be making it back into the rotation for the USMNT with the continuation of his current form?
I think so. Why not? I think we've both been arguing that he should be at least in consideration.
Okay, obviously, we're biased. I say this slightly tongue in cheek, and I honestly don't really care about this issue. So you can flame us if you want for these takes, and I don't give a shit. But he's he's a better striker than pretty much, maybe, right, Balogun over him. But Pepe,
probably not.
Pepe, and who's even in the mix right now? Haji Wright or whatever. He's got more goals than those guys.
He plays against Central American opponents.
But that's I think that's the biggest joke of all the Jordan Morris USMNT discourse over the years. Is that for however hot it's been, if you just look at how he's played, when he's gotten called in, he's done pretty well. He's been pretty good. He's been a pretty good international striker. He has 11 goals and 55 caps, which isn't amazing, but it's pretty good. And he's got a few assists. I know he at least has the 1 assist to Jesus Ferreira against Mexico. So he's been literally among the more productive attackers of this last era that we've been talking about.
Literally saved the U.S. men's national team in World Cup qualifying as a college student. I'm sorry. What are we talking about, man? This is not only just silly. He is a top talent in Major League Soccer. He is a really good striker, and he's someone who understands and plays in CONCACAF matches. If you're going to play in CONCACAF Nations League, which I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you, what is that?
It's some tournament.
They're just making this shit up. There's just a new thing every day. But it's if you want someone to play against Trinidad and Tobago,
he's a better pick for a Nations League squad than Haji Wright. I'm out of the loop. I don't know who these guys are anymore. But
do you want your Italian players, your dudes playing in Italy to come in? I don't know. I just think he deserves a shot because he's been in really good form, and not even just that, he's now playing with Jesus Ferreira, who is a day in and day out player for this national team. Maybe he's not A1, but he's A2.
Oh, okay. Well, because I'm honestly not sure what Ferreira's USMNT stock is right now. I know that he was previously a staple, but I felt part of the issue and maybe why he wanted to go to FC Dallas was he's trying to get back into that mix. But I don't know. I said, I'm out of the loop.
23 games, 15 goals from Jesus Ferreira on the U.S. national team.
Right, and everyone says that they don't count because they came against the Caribbean or whatever. But then it's well, then why didn't everyone else score that much? Why is he the only one who scored that much? If it's that easy. If it's that easy to do, why didn't others do it? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I don't know. And I'll say this too. If you're a U.S. men's national team fan and you think, oh, I hate myself and my life and all I do is complain all the time. You saw, right? Greg Berhalter did not want to call Jordan Morris in. You hated Greg Berhalter. You did not want to call him in. And now you have your new guy. You have your guy, the guy who you wanted. If he calls in Jordan Morris...
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You gonna say Poke doesn't know what he's doing?
Yeah, you gonna say Pochettino doesn't know what he's talking about? Because I would like to be in that room.
That's kind of the funny thing is don't want to give money to the oligarchs but love lobbing Scorchers? Do we have a deal for you? MLS Season Pass is back on Apple TV with access to every single MLS match, including Leagues Cup and the entire Audi MLS Cup playoffs with no blackouts. It's not just the games. You get total access to the pre and post-match MLS 360 whip-around show in both English and Spanish, and get live look-ins and highlights from around the league, as well as full match replays and recaps. Now, you can support our show by visiting lobbingscorchers.com/Apple TV to purchase your subscription and support our show.
LobbingScorchers.com/Apple TV. Please don't let the oligarchs win.
Like the bots aren't allowed to question Poke. So it's like, did you see how he called in the dude from CF Montreal who joined a men's league, punched a guy in the face, got kicked out of the men's league, and got his contract terminated by MLS.
And then played like dog.
And yeah, so I didn't even, that's all I knew of this guy. I didn't know he had US eligibility. I didn't know anything really at all about him as a player. All I heard was that he joined a men's, which this story was insane.
Yep.
We didn't talk about this enough at the time. He literally, you can look this up. You can look this up. I'm not embellishing this at all. He joined a men's league in Montreal, or like a rec league, got in a fight on the field in the game, punched a guy in the face, got kicked out of the rec league. They found out who he was, told CF Montreal, and then his contract got terminated by MLS. That's all I knew of him or had heard of him. I never heard of him again after that. The next time I see this guy, Poke has called him in for the USMNT, and he's just out there running around. He did something that was like insanely bad.
I think he just made some really bad passes.
He just had one of the most horrible shifts I have ever seen, to the point where I was like, I don't know about this Poke thing. Like, it's probably a good hire. I don't know. But then I'm like, what is this? Like, we're calling in the men's league face puncher guy, like, who really has no pedigree. He's not rated well at all, as far as I can tell. Like, what is going on with this? And then he scored like an incredibly sick goal at the end of the game that I think it salvaged the optics of it a little bit. It really shouldn't have.
No.
It makes no sense that guy...
That goal doesn't count. If Jordan Morris's goal just don't count, that one sure as hell doesn't against the nobodies.
But also, like, I don't know. Far be it from me to question these things, but are we really to believe that the men's league face puncher guy is also like an elite talent who's going to be a needle mover at the international level? If you're trying to sell that, I just don't know if I'm buying it. I don't know if I'm buying that. I don't think I am. I don't think I'm buying that.
I just don't. Jordan Morris, better than the face puncher guy.
Yes, like, come on.
2025.
Come on. Even the bots could admit that there's just no way the face puncher guy should be in the fold.
Yeah, what are we talking about? This brings me to my next question related to this. There's been a little bit of a kerfuffle between MLS and mainly, I will say, the Sounders and the U.S. men's national team. Jordan Morris on that list, Jesus Ferreira on that list, Jackson Reagan on the list. All of this in the throes of what is essentially the busiest season of all time for the Sounders. Do we think the Sounders are going to let any of their players go to Nation League?
I mean, I think if your players really want to go, you should let them go. Like, that is a big enough tournament where if they want to go play in it, I think you got to let them go play in it. Will they? I feel like Seattle over the years has, this Jackson Reagan situation notwithstanding, like, I feel like if a guy is really passionate about their aspirations at the international level, maybe there's been individual situations where they haven't let a guy go when they feel like their schedule has dictated it. But I feel like they would let him go.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. We'll see. I'm not super high on that they're going to let people go, but that's I don't know.
It would be sick if they didn't.
I mean, I think the only person that realistically you would be like, okay, fine, is Jackson Reagan, just to build some more goodwill, because I think he wants to play on the national team, and you kind of held him out.
He was not happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, the Sounders kind of screwed him. I'm sorry. Like, you were arguing that it was the USMNT, and I don't really even think I had a take on it because I'm Canadian.
Well, we were clowning on US soccer, which I think was merited, but I do think
the Sounders need to hold some of the bag.
They do hold some of the bag. Yeah.
That's enough USMNT punditry. We're Canadian fans.
We haven't gotten into USMNT punditry in a while. That was terrible. Let's not do that again.